The Entertainment Industries Council proudly presents the inaugural Science, Engineering, and Technology Awards, honoring exceptional forms of entertainment that accurately portray, promote, educate, and spark interest in these fields. It's part of EIC's mission to encourage the art of making a difference through the Ready on the Set and Action initiative, where SET stands for Science, Engineering, and Technology. With more on encouraging students to think outside the box and creating the jobs of the future, here's your host from the EIC, Skylar Zwick.
And welcome, everyone. I'm Skylar Zwick, External Communications and Program Director for the Entertainment Industries Council. Thank you for joining us for the S.E.T Awards podcast series. Our guest today is Leslie Fink. She comes to us from the National Science Foundation, where for more than 25 years, she's been a science communicator for the federal research programs in the Washington, D.C. area. She's produced science communication materials for the public in almost every medium, including video and multimedia web pieces. And recently, she's been exploring opportunities, including science, engineering, and technology themes in traditional and interactive media. Fascinating woman. EIC is proud to be partnered with Leslie and NSF to promote careers in science, engineering, technology, and mathematics by providing the entertainment industry's creative community with additional expertise in these fields. Welcome, Leslie. Thanks for being with me this morning.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Well, I tell you what, I have to ask, what is it that you see? I mean, every day you are living science, engineering, and technology, and this current public perception of these fields is really different for a lot of people and across the generations. What do you see as the current perception, and how is it affecting research and innovation?
Well, I think the public in general really doesn't understand science, engineering, and technology. And in fact, NSF surveys have shown this. But although they don't understand it, these same surveys have showed that they overwhelmingly support federal funding of research in science and engineering. So it's kind of, I don't really know what it is, but I know I like it. The other piece of it is, though, that I think there's probably not a great understanding of basic research and those fundamental inquiries in the research to market pathway where that kind of work is needed, and for people to have strong fundamentals in science and engineering at that level in order to bring new products to the marketplace.
So what do we do about it? How do we need to shift our collective thought process to meet the rising needs and the demands both locally and globally?
Well, I think one of the things that will be important now and in the future is to encourage people to think outside the box. Encourage people from perhaps other disciplines like music or the arts or the humanities to consider engineering and science careers. Steve Jobs, who recently passed away, is a perfect example. I mean, who's going to be the new Steve Jobs? Or even Stan Lee with his wild imagination of some years ago where he dreamt up all these wonderful scenarios literally off the top of his head for, a whole series of comic books, which have now been made into, blockbuster films. It's that kind of creativity and thinking outside the box that needs to be encouraged.
I think wonderful sentiments, and it's hard to even put them in a better way because the National Science Foundation does so much to foster that creativity. Tell me a little bit about the ongoing initiatives that NSF is partnering with or supporting to get students interested in science, engineering, and technology.
Well, there really are very many, both at the research level and at the more informal level. Of course, there's a big program at the National Foundation that supports research in how people learn from the kindergarten level up through well into secondary education. There's a lot of activity partnering say high school science teachers with university professors, for example, to teach the teacher to make sure that the real life experience of laboratory research and that kind of activity is actually passed on to students, so they have a real true to life understanding of what of the scientific process and how things are discovered. The other area that NSF is very strong in is what's called informal education, which is education that occurs in our day-to-day lives outside of school, and you would see that, for example, in exhibits in science centers or IMAX movies or any number of radio shows, public television kinds of activities. Very strong in that, and then of course from that we also hope to learn, how much does a viewer actually learn about science and engineering from viewing these kinds of presentations.
Well, you're obviously very passionate about science, engineering, and technology, and doing a lot of great work with it. Do you think entertainment plays a role in getting people engaged?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think, it's clear that entertainment, the entertainment media, and by that I mean television, movies, interactive media like video gaming, is very powerful, commands huge audiences, and I think gives the public an opportunity to learn about science in places perhaps other than the big science centers or public television. There's a lot of airtime during primetime, TV nights where concepts of science and engineering can be insinuated in shows that are actually very entertaining to watch, and people can come away with just a little nugget of information or knowledge that they might not have had because we know that science, engineering, and these kinds of products, activities, and whatnot are in our everyday lives, and you don't necessarily have to have a show about science or about, a particular kind of weather storm or, gizmo or whatever. We know that these kinds of things are in our daily lives, and they can easily be written into entertainment scripts and have the public take away some valuable information without basically really even knowing that they're learning something.
And I think you have absolutely hit a great concept of edutainment, entertaining people while educating them, and I know that's a lot of work that NSF is also involved in along with EIC, and it's a great sentiment for kids to get out there, think out of the box, and just give it a shot. You never know what can happen. Leslie, thank you so much for being with us today. I really do appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Thank you for joining us for this S.E.T Awards podcast, part of EIC's ongoing efforts to encourage young people toward the fields of science, engineering, and technology careers. Furthering these efforts, the S.E.T Awards Challenge has been issued. Log on to eiconline.org and submit your video entry for either a fiction or nonfiction production that depicts the power, creativity, and everyday influence of science, engineering, or technology. You could win a trip to the 2012 S.E.T Awards in Los Angeles, a professional mentoring session, or an opportunity to pitch your idea to a Hollywood team. Learn all about it at eiconline.org.